Good morning. My name is Kirsty Dignam and I'm here to look at the energies for the week with today's Monday's Musings. And I'm caught a little bit off guard because I didn't realise I was recording. So just taking a moment, recognising what is actually going on around feels like key this week. You will hear banging in the background. My neighbours are having a new floor fitted and it really coincided today with the daily guidance that new ground was being laid. There's always noise in the background. Okay, one of the biggest emphasis this week is it's up to us to determine what it is we wish to listen to, what it is we need to hear, what it is we're choosing to be a reflection of, and what it is we're actually taking on board as our own. I can really feel a sense of projection actually just as I feel into that potential this week. There is a lot going on always, right? And when we have the new moon, I think on the Wednesday, we do have a real surge of the dark feminine rising. Now there's a big difference between the dark feminine and the shadow feminine. I really feel that in my throat. What is the difference? Speaking up, speaking our truth this week is going to be the difference. I was going to say even if it's just for us to hear, but especially for us to hear. So, you know, the dark feminine, we're talking Lilith, we're talking Medusa, we're talking Sekhmet, we're talking those often hidden energies of the mystic, but also the crone and the wisdom that can come from that. We're talking the journey of Inanna, which is to let go of everything we think we are. And I really felt that this morning, and with my own shadow version of that starting to come to light. I felt so chilled this morning, really zoned out, really chilled, which was such a blessing. After a week of absolute turmoil and a real shit show, it was a blessing this morning to wake up and just feel like I just surrendered. You know, and I felt at peace with the darkness that was almost consuming my home because it's raining outside, right? We've been promised this heat wave and, you know, this extending summer. But like the noise in the background, it doesn't mean it always happens. And this morning my home is dark and what I want to do is go within. And my shadow self, my shadow feminine, suggested that nobody wants to hear that I may as well not do a video this week because there's so much going on. People want to hear how to, you know, what to do about it, where to send healing, and, you know, all that do energy. And I felt completely opposite. And it's something, when I look back through my childhood actually, you know, I've often been the joker, I've often been the chaos, the drama, the instigator, the rebel, and felt quite comfortable in that. I felt really quite comfortable. Why? Because underneath it all was this crone energy. Now the thing with the crone, regardless of gender, it's the archetype that we're always working towards, because it's the archetype of death, it's the archetype of change, it's the archetype of transformation, whether that's, you know, the menopause in women or aging or whatever. It's a necessary aspect of any new beginning. So this new moon coming up, we are being given a beautiful opportunity to really look at that within us and how open we are to that energy. And this morning I did feel like, you know, is it a good idea to share how at peace I feel with what other people might find uncomfortable? Is it a good idea for me to suggest that the best way to heal, if we feel we need to heal, Pachamama, is to have that balance within ourselves first? Is all of this actually wanted or needed? And my throat started to really go, and I just found myself back in the delivery suite as a midwife, knowing those moments when you find things really hard. For some, what you need to hear is calm, compassion, and the knowing of trust. And that's going to be one of the biggest emphasis this week. Now, what I'm sharing will work for some people and be relevant, and it won't for others. And I'm actually at a point in my life where I'm okay with that. I am, or getting more okay with that. So with that in mind, in my style, with what I offer and what I share, I'm going to look at the energies this week and how to best navigate that. And that feels like I'm looking at a book called Your Psychic Power, and Be Your Own Psychic. That feels like the real emphasis this week. There is always background noise, this video included. How does that support, enhance, empower, impact, or affect where you are? You know, were you calm and then you watched something and it left you ungrounded? What can you gather from that? What can you learn from that? Were you as grounded as you thought you were? Or are you seeking things out? Yeah, I'm just going to say, are you seeking out the drama? Because it's what we're used to. We can't recognise how things have changed if we continue to seek out the same drama and the same patterns. Whether we like it or not, and I know I'm not particularly keen, in the UK it seems like our autumn is coming. You know, we may not have had the summer that we want. We may not have had the amount of light that we want. And I feel like my arms have been brought in as a result. But we may not have had the light that we felt we needed. But look at the growth outside. Look at the abundant greenery in the UK. Obviously, I know other countries are going through different aspects. But look at what is in front of you this week. Okay? And recognise that we have received what it is that we need for the next stage. Whether we feel prepared, whether we want more of something, you know, whether we agree or disagree, the autumn is coming in the UK, and that is a time to slow down. That is a time to take stock. That is a time to start collecting up what we need to take us through, and it will be through the next 4 months. They are real pivotal 4 months coming before we go into the next year, if we choose so. And I'm looking at a book, The Complete Book of the Hand, and it is about looking at what we are giving, what we are receiving, what we are choosing to take, what we are choosing to let go of. You know, we can talk about giving and receiving in relationships, but the first relationship starts with ourselves. So what are we taking on? What traits, what thoughts, what beliefs, what belongings, what persona, what structure are we taking on? I'm noticing that my own is changing. I'm doing little and often. And I know that when you eat that way, it's really good for your sugar levels, right? And what I got this morning was that it's really good to maintain the sweetness in our life, full stop, little and often. And we know moderation. You know, we know moderation is often key to most things. But this is a real, I'll do some work, I will complete it with presence and trust, and then step away and just let that integrate. Now that works for me. This week, really finding a flow, a new flow, or an enhanced version of what has been working for you to take forward. And the way that we do that, again, my throat is going, we listen to what it is we need to hear. Okay, and there is a big difference. The throat is the shadow area as well, and there is a big difference between the shadow feminine and the dark feminine, and it's about recognizing that this week. Are we acting from a place of crone, grandmother-like, wise energy, or are we acting from a place of our own triggers, our own need to rescue, our own need to change a situation? Can we step into the witness consciousness that's available at the moment and realize that that is huge? It's a huge aspect of change. There are a lot of people shifting things, changing things, adding to things. We kind of need some more people to stand back and hold space and watch and witness. But that's just my opinion, right? So obviously I am one of those people. So again, listening to what I'm saying, doing my bit, turning up today and looking at the energy and how we can best navigate that, how we can best witness that. Okay, so I do hear money where our mouth is, putting our money where our mouth is this week. And there feels like a little bit of a block there. It feels a bit harsh. It doesn't feel as if it's tallying in with the energy that's available. It's not about putting our money where our mouth is. It's about putting our energy where our mouth is. Money is, yes, it is a physical bridge, but what's the energy behind it all? You can donate millions and millions and millions of pounds to a cause. What's the energy behind it? Are you trying to fix that? Are you doing it for your own gains? And there's no right or wrong here, guys. Whatever. But being aware of that, being aware of that will help show our own shadow and our own triggers and our own differences that we may need to now embody. Okay, right. Oh, I left a load of cards on the table. What have I left on the table? I've left the Magician, the Fool, and the King of Cups healing on the table. And it feels like that, yeah, laying the cards out on the table this week, really looking at our own ability to exist in this energy of not knowing, in the sacred Fool. What is our role within that, in the space of surrender and witnessing and being present and journeying this life for the sheer joy, experience, pain, whatever that it can be. If we allow ourselves that, if we allow ourselves to actually embody the life that we're given, there's great healing there. I am acutely aware from my level that that may not be what people want to hear, and I am obviously aware and accountable that we are all at different stages. I ask for the same back. We are all in different places. We all experience different things. And yeah, embodying your experience rather than this week, well, you don't understand, I'm going through da 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 da. So embody it. Embody your experience rather than deflecting or projecting onto others. So with that in mind, I'm going to pick the cards back up off the table and do just that. And at the moment, my own experience has been shocking, actually, the last week or so, and very upsetting and very derailing, and a wonderful opportunity to embody the trust that I have in myself, which is what I offer others, the ability to find that trust in themselves. So a great, almost a snake eating its own tail, a wonderful opportunity to become what it is I offer, and vice versa. So really looking at that this week, looking at how aligned our energy is on all levels. It almost feels like another element is trying to come through, which is interesting. It's not ether, it's another element, like a combination of them all. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, energies this week. My vertigo is improving, which is really good. I'm able to look down easier now. Okay, energies this week and how to best navigate them. And what I really feel is to relax, to really look at what it is we need to know, why we feel we need to know it. Okay, so just opening ourselves up rather than energies this week and how to best navigate them. What is being asked of us? What is actually truly being asked of us? Because we can get so caught up in what we think is wanted. What is being asked of us this week? Okay, so Thunderbolt. The Tower card underneath it all. Okay, now what I love about this Tower card is look at the body. Yes, there are aspects of the human leaving. Okay, and it is necessary changes here, but look at the body, the energy of the body. It is at peace. Be at peace this week. Whatever it is you need in order to hold space for your body as the vessel of change this week, it's that's being asked of us, to really recognize that we are a mirror of what is going on around us. You know, we talk about the macro and the micro, but really taking responsibility for that and accountability for that. Where are we acting from? Are we in alignment with our seasons? Are we eating the vegetables that are available in that season? Are we, with it being autumn, are we starting to harvest? Or are we pushing against the grain? Okay, because anywhere that we are this week, we are being asked to let go of that. We are being asked to surrender to the body's wisdom. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wow. We have a week of major arcanas, apart from Sunday, overall. A whole 6 out of the 7 days of major arcanas. And it is, there's a real emphasis of fate here, and being asked to not, well, surrender to fate. You know, what is so right or wrong about surrendering to what is occurring, surrendering to life, surrendering to those things that we may not be able to control. We seem to have stopped doing that with our ability to manifest and our awareness increasing of our role here in the micro and the macro. We seem to have forgotten and it doesn't feel like a hierarchical thing. It could be, if we're not careful, you know, it could be, well, have you forgotten your place? Don't you know who I am? And there could be that kind of energy that comes through this week, especially reflected back to us. But it almost feels as though we have forgotten this beautiful dance with the universe. You know, something happens, how do we react? That backwards, forwards, that toing and froing, it's almost like we're dancing on our own. It's almost like we've forgotten the combined rhythm of ourself and fate. And this week, the universe is dictating the beat. The universe is dictating the song this week, and we're really going to be shown how much fun we can have with that. We're really going to be shown how much we try and control that, how defensive that can make us, because on the Sunday, the only minor arcana is stress. It's the 7 of Wands here, but overall we have the Page of Wands as well. So it's that real fiery Leo energy, which is playfulness. Now, this is the end of the week and overall, but I want to bring these to light because look at the difference between these energies. Can you see those? Okay, so we have someone dancing on balls, trying to be a one-man band with the stress, with the 7 of Wands, being quite defensive here. Or we have the clown, we have the heyoka, we have the playfulness that can come by not trying to juggle everything. You know, this one character is trying to juggle all these candles, all these lights. You know, he's all, what's the word? Bells and whistles. I can't remember, but he's a real one-man band here, and it's quite defensive. And you can just see that the monkey there is just waiting to pop the bubble. And the monkeys are known for curiosity, for trickster energy, for playfulness, but also for intelligence and knowing that actually maybe our own bubbles need to be popped a little bit this week so that we can just get out of the way and have some fun with life. Okay, it's that age-old saying, is it happening to us or for us? And I do respect that can be hard, especially when we're caught right in the middle of what is occurring. I really, really do respect that. However, background noise, yeah, how do we feel, what do we need? How do we feel, what do we need? Okay, what is going to lighten the situation? Now, I don't mean cover it over, I don't mean bypass it, I mean how can we lighten ourselves up with what is occurring by recognizing it's all part of one great big dance, right? So on the Monday, my knee just clunked. My right knee, that support, that masculine support, my knee just proper clicked because I tried to tuck it underneath me. Okay, on the Monday we have the Chariot, and what we have here is an awareness of the inner child within us. I don't know if you can see that, and a lot of people maybe can't see the inner child, but it's actually coming out of a animal skin. It's like a dog skin, okay, and it's like the Buddha child, the innocence underneath it all. So our emotions, our animal instinct, our Salka, okay, really feeling the innocence behind them and the wisdom that can come from that on the Monday is going to be key. Yeah, this morning I thought, gosh, I feel like an old lady. Do I want to sit opposite a camera feeling like an old lady, sounding like an old lady, like very zen-like in times of chaos? But I still feel light and young with that, and I can recognise the wisdom that's underneath it all based on how I feel. On the Monday in particular, if we are to move forward, the universe is going to give us opportunities to feel this so that we can unzip these suits of reality that we have been wearing. You know, it's not even a mask, it's our whole body. So, an example, I did a sound bath yesterday and the trousers that I wore were far too hot. So I had to go to the shop and get some snacks for the sound bath, and I just thought I need some different trousers. These are just too hot. And I bought the most beautiful yellow, they're very much like clown trousers. They're very much like these, yellow trousers and t-shirt. that are about 4 or 5 times too big for me. It's like, where has my head been at with that image of myself? So we're not talking just a mask to protect ourselves and our communication that we've been so used to wearing. We're not talking just a mask with our face. We're talking a mask of our whole body, our whole soul here. Monday is a wonderful opportunity to step out of who we thought we were, and yes, it is the dog there. So yes, we are going to be perhaps conflicted with loyalties to our stories, to our labels, to our loved ones, to our relationships, to our purpose, our job, whatever. Yeah, we are going to potentially feel conflicted with that, to where we fit in. But if we can just unzip it and just let it fall, and really, really look at what's underneath it all. Is it going to be easy? Well, on the Tuesday, just stop. On the Tuesday, just pause. We have the Courage card, which is the Strength card or Leo card. And my eyes were drawn to Athena. I have a statue, not Athena. She's not just stood in my dining room, but I have a statue of Athena up against the books, and the books behind it are low self-esteem, feeling safe and rising strong, and conversations with God and steering the starlight. So there's a real emphasis there. Again, it's that goddess type energy, particularly as we lead into the new moon on the Wednesday, to have the courage to open up to that feminine within us that is saying, Athena is the hunter that is saying, I need to go after this now. This is what I want. This is what I desire. This is what I need in order to grow within the circumstances that wouldn't normally support that or embrace that, or at least what we feel wouldn't normally support or embrace that. This morning, again, going back to that story of feeling at peace, it's like, how is that going to support doing a video for this week's energy? But just trusting that actually the energy that we're given this week is exactly what we need, not to grow, but to realise what we've blossomed into, particularly on the Tuesday. They're going for it behind me. It is laying of new grounds. It is laying of a carpet. On the Wednesday, we have Temperance, and it's integration. Okay, so they are going for it behind me. They are laying those new grounds. They know that what they're doing is to put in a new foundation. Okay, I don't know what type of flooring it is, and it really doesn't matter, but the emphasis is to put in something new. Integration brings about change. If something isn't changing or shifting, then something hasn't been integrated. So taking time to do that, and perhaps doing that in the what we call mundane things, the chop wood, carry water, the cleaning of a home, taking your dog for a walk, doing your shopping. These are really important things that help us to just ground in and cope with the noises around us. So the new moon on Wednesday is a wonderful opportunity to bring things together. It sounds like they're in my house. This morning I found my mind directing off into different areas, and really bringing that energy back. And that is the potential this week. That is what, yes, of course, remember what is being asked of us, to integrate. So we're being asked to have an awareness. We're being asked to have the courage needed to strip back anything that isn't actually of us anymore, to integrate these changes on the Wednesday with the new moon, rather than bringing in new things. Okay, to integrate the changes if we want them to actually be new. On the Thursday, we have the Judgment card, and I need to move my left leg with that one, and it's almost gone into a position like Kuan Yin, and that feels quite poignant. On the Thursday, we have the Judgment card, and in this deck, it's beyond illusion. Okay, so it's really seeing, the butterfly there, really seeing the beauty that comes from showing who we are, that comes from, visibly seeing who we are and having that reflected back to us, and to not have any judgment if we can with that. And if we do, not to have judgment on that. Judgment is there to call us out, to look at areas where we may need to rise above the boxes, the coffins in the Rider-Waite Tarot, the coffins that we have put ourselves in, to really bring forth a new life now on a higher level. I do find myself in the position of Kuan Yin, and you know, when we think of Kuan Yin, there is that forgiveness. Okay, so whatever happens on the new moon on the Wednesday, lashing out, or you know, whatever happens on the Wednesday, giving yourself the forgiveness of not having that judgment the next day as much as possible, for ourselves included, knowing that it was all part of the integration. It was all part of us seeing ourselves and each other beyond this illusion that we may have had based on our own views, including our own values. Yeah, you know, based on our own, well, yeah, it is our own values. So we could have trust as a great value, and someone could not share that with us in their actions. And that can really wobble us. But what that's giving us an opportunity to look at is what trust actually means to us on a deeper level. So trust is an example, but it could be anything this week that we're being asked to actually integrate any changes in order to look beyond the illusions that are occurring here. Because on the Friday we do have the World card, which is completion. Excuse me. A missing piece, a jigsaw puzzle. And if you look at this card, where does it come from? Here, the third eye, the ability to see ourselves from a more psychic. Now, when I say psychic, what I mean is a expanded awareness. What I mean is a, you know, being aware of what we think of ourselves. Yeah, with the air, with the thoughts, being aware of how we see our own spirituality, being aware of what healing our body is trying to share with us, being aware of our actions, really seeing ourselves on a whole, yeah, of course, complete level. Seeing ourselves fully is the completion that's being asked of us on the Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, so I've just realised that I picked an extra card for the Sunday. Yeah, I completely forgot that, and it does go with the Rebel card, but we will come back to that, because there is an opportunity towards the end of the week and right at the beginning, I guess, to jump around and be like, well, what about me? What about me? What do I need to do? What about me? What am I being asked to do? I need to fight for this. I need to heal this. I need to fix this. I'm being called to da-da-da-da-da. And I really feel my right eye twitching with that, you know? Close that eye. Close the eye, turn the cheek, see what is really, really going on. Okay, sometimes when we observe something that is painful or motivating, or that frustrates us, or, you know, that causes a reaction within us, that triggers a reaction within us, we want to act straight away. That is a very, very shadow aspect of the feminine. There isn't any judgment there, but it is. You know, the feminine is about receiving and holding space and allowing things to shift and change, especially the feminine we are facing Tuesday and Wednesday with the new moon. We are talking the dark goddess. So yes, it is that ability, like Medusa, to stare something, you know, and ground it and turn it to stone almost, with our ability to look into the eyes of what is occurring. It is Lilith, it is Sekhmet, it is the lion, the gentle strength of the hunter, yeah, of Athena, of watching, waiting, pausing, being prepared. What's the word? It's not pausing. It's gone out of my mind. I'm sure it will come back. Being prepared for that. There's a real difference. And this week there is the only minor arcanas are the choice between making it all about us, or allowing things to happen and seeing the joy and the playfulness that is being asked of us as a result. You know, there's a real difference. It's coming with the Sunday, and it is taking up all the energy, even in my own. I can feel it causing that confusion. It's coming with the rebel energy, the emperor energy on the Sunday, the masculine. Thank you. It is the masculine version of the feminine that is causing confusion. I could hear that emperor then, Confucius, that is causing confusion. Okay, so the biggest battle that we fight is the one that we have with ourselves. Okay, interesting. I've never worked with emperor energy, but hey, So bringing it back, knowing this, yeah, the biggest battle we have is the one that we fight with ourselves. So what am I feeling? Why am I trying to react to this? Why am I unable to sit and hold space with this? So that was quite uncomfortable for me because, you know, I need to know. I have the cards in front of me, but sit. If you're not sure, sit, observe, expand, have the courage to integrate what is going on, see beyond the obvious, allow things to complete themselves, because then the card for Saturday and the whole process is change. It is that Wheel of Fortune. And what's occurring here is so much information coming in. There is so much information coming in, but it is about remembering right at the center. You have that yin yang symbol of temperance and integration. There is a lot of energy coming in. There is another element coming in, either another element to the situation. No, I need to trust what I can feel. There is another element coming in that we are going to be made aware of. So we have earth, air, fire, water, ether. There is another element coming in, quite potentially a combination of them all. But at the center of that, we keep balance. At the center of that, as our bodies evolve, as things change, as, you know, DNA strands, you know, evolve and shift and whatever, as frequencies lift, at the center of it all, we keep balance, because it's that helps us to integrate what is going on. So on the Sunday, be very clear where you're at this week, guys, because it can be really quite confusing. On the Sunday, we have the rebel, we have the emperor, and it is our actions that are confusing the situation. It is our fight or flight, thank you, that is confusing the situation. It is taking time, and I really feel that in my root chakra, this root chakra type energy, which it will be because it's the dark goddess. So it's root chakra, and we're talking sacral creative energy as well. I almost want to chew my cheek, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Being at that precipice, you know, that point of no return, that being able to hold space at the cliff's edge, that real edginess this week, just, yeah, being okay with that, without destroying everything, without reacting in such a way that is going to cause defensive stress here. How? Lighten it up. Find some fun, laugh at yourself. You know, it's that saying, we're like on a ball of gas going through. Take an opportunity to really look at what is going on from a more inner child, lighter perspective here. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 major arcanas. There's a big difference between defensiveness and boundaries, and the universe is going to show us that this week. We are beyond the harmony energy, so there is going to be a tipping point this week, and it is going to be gifted by the universe. And, you know, I really feel that in the third eye. It's not something that we weren't aware of. And when we know that, when we know deep down inside, it's not something that we weren't aware of. It's not something that we didn't already feel. That can really help to lighten things up. That can really help us to realise that we're not on our own, that we're not a one-man band. You know, that stress, whilst productive, isn't everything. It isn't the only way to create things. There are other ways, and it's that that's being asked of us this week, to find a more playful way of creating with what we see as stress, how we see change. I just want to, like an accordion, just expand and contract, and it feels like that this week. An opportunity to, I'm okay to put it out there, and now I want to go within and integrate. I'm okay to put it out there, and now I want to go in to integrate. So bring it back to what is being asked of us this week. Is going to be the pivotal moment of change, the thunderbolt. What is actually really being asked of us this week? Have an awareness with that. Open your heart to the courage that takes, that it might not be what we thought. It might not be how we expected. Integrate. The union between you and the universe, the actions that you are doing with the fates, not against the fates. See beyond the illusion of this separation, malarkey, and bring into the completion any changes that now need to come into play rather than rebel against them. I can really relate to that with some of the things that have come up this week. Although I didn't think I was rebelling that much, but having said that, I haven't really had fun with it. So yeah, I've felt the changes that have occurred. I've integrated them. I've, well, an example, my son has moved out, and it was a thunderbolt, and it came out of the blue. Although I knew, right? I knew at one point, as a mother, that was part of my role, that my son would move out. But it did come as a thunderbolt out of the blue, and it has really knocked me. It has really changed my whole view of myself, my relationships, my home. Everything is going to change as a result of this. And I've sat with it and I've felt it, and I've really integrated the shifts and, you know, the healing, deep healing that came up as a result. But I haven't had the courage to have fun with it. I haven't had the courage to think, gosh, so what does that mean for me? In an exciting way, what does that mean for myself and my husband to have our home to ourselves? You know, we need to move. What does that mean for our future? There's a difference this week, and it is about finding that. Again, it's not about bypassing the experience. There's always two sides to a story, and it's about having the courage to allow that to come in. So whether you're more inclined to see all the positives, maybe taking a moment just to really feel perhaps the more negative situations you may have denied yourself. Maybe if you're like me and you see all the deep, deep healing that can occur, allowing ourselves to have a moment of seeing the joy and the fun that can come as a result without that guilt. I mean, knee-jerk reaction, obviously, how I feel guilty that I'm happy that my son is moving out. But there will be a part of me, especially down the line when things settle and integrate, that I will look back and think, oh gosh, my life has really shifted because of this. And hopefully his has also. So having the courage to allow both sides to come through is going to be the difference between stress and playfulness. So one more card. With 36 minutes. One more card. Okay, I'm going to ask what is being asked of us, and I'm not going to ask about the guidance for the week. We're going to leave it open. We're going to leave it open. Yeah. You know, when I left it open, there was just this huge breath of fresh air that came in, and then a million creative potentials and ideas, and it could almost feel quite daunting. Like once we create space, look at everything that can come in. And the card that was picked was the inner voice, the high priestess, the dark goddess that we're facing this week. And underneath it, we have letting go, but we also have postponement here. Not letting go of the inevitable. Okay? Or not letting go of the inevitable. Okay, we can't really postpone that. And what happens, you know, it starts to really affect what we see. You see the Four of Swords here. It starts to make everything look a little bit grey, ourselves included. Yeah, but if we can just let go, have patience with ourselves this week, just let go of what wants to naturally flow. So in this letting go card, you know, there's no forcing here. It's just a natural ripple. It's just a natural ripple. There's no forcing. Having that inner voice to know all we need to do is make space for whatever's going on, to make space for whatever we feel, make space, and to recognize when we act that making space itself is an action, but when we fill that space with an action, we're not making space for it anymore. We're not witnessing it. We're doing something. And to really look at where or why we feel the need to do that. Can we not just let something go? Yes, it can be difficult because it's the journey to the dark goddess. But once we do that, you know, the wisdom that can come through as a result, the healing, the colour that can return to our picture as a result, can be absolutely magnificent. Have a wonderful week. Take time for you. Take time for whatever you need this week to allow everything to come into completion within and through you. Take care.